What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is your Monday Night Raw review for September the 16th, 2024. What a show this was from Portland, Oregon. We've seen a lot of things on the show here. We saw a banger of a match between Iyo Sky and Bianca Belair. We've seen a car wreck between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. We also saw Joe Tessitore probably have one of his best performance since joining the commentary team. He's getting into his own, and I love it. We saw CM Punk make an appearance on the show here. He had a great promo, talk about his upcoming Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood. We've seen a little more of cracks into going on with possibly the end of the New Day. We also saw Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest get involved in the main event, as well as Pete Dunne and Sheamus. They have their stuff as long, and a very good segment with Jey Uso and Bron Breakker. But we're going to get into all of that. Please hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, youtube.com/@MisfitWrestlingPodcast, Twitter, PileDriverPulse, Instagram, Mr. Wrestling Pod, the other audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and iHeartRadio, where you can just type it in and Misfit Wrestling Podcast and stuff come up. You'll see the new logo and everything else here. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to the Pile Driver Pulse this weekend. I do have some news on that. I am actually going to try to do the Pile Driver Pulse tomorrow following NXT. And I can do I can talk about NXT while I do some covers of some other stuff here, because I do want to talk about Stardom and their show that they had this weekend. If I can find it, they had Naba. I think it's Naba Grand Fight, because we also found out that there's going to be that. We have another show coming up, Nagawa, a show that they normally have, which I believe this might have been their first one. Last year they had their first show. This year they're going to have their second one. We have 3 championship matches on that show announced. I'm going to talk about that in the show here, just so I can have some of that as well. And let's see what else. Oh, and SmackDown. I don't think I did SmackDown. I can look, but I don't think I did SmackDown this week or last week. Did I? No, I did do SmackDown last week. Brand new look and all that stuff. So, yeah. I do get a bit of news. I don't know. I think I did talk about so I talked about this on SmackDown's review about the changes to oh my God, what was it? Changes to the arena for week 2 of NXT at the whatever that place is called, the CW. They're no longer going to be in St. Louis. Apparently, that's because of poor ticket sales. So they're going to go to a smaller arena. So that's going to happen. Also, you have some news on Tamina. Unfortunately, Tamina. Well, it's not unfortunate. I mean, depending on who you ask, it could be unfortunate. But Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful had some news regarding Tamina Snuka, daughter of WWE Hall of Famer, the late Jimmy Snuka. I'm not going to say the late great because all that stuff here. But he said, and I quote, Tamina is no longer active with WWE. She has not been at the shows. She's not on the internal rosters anymore. She's not wrestling anymore. 46 years old. Hasn't worked in quite a while. We've heard nothing about that. And it doesn't seem like there's any sign for her to return. So it does seem like, based on everything we've heard, based off this report here, that Tamina Snuka is basically retired at this point here. So you know, she was removed from the WWE's active roster page in July, along with Bobby Lashley and MVP. So there is that. Drew McIntyre. And some news on Drew McIntyre. PW Insider reported that, if I can find it here, PW Insider reported that Drew McIntyre will be absent from this week's Raw. It was as you saw on the show. McIntyre's absence from tonight's show was not due to any personal reasons, but instead a deliberate creative decision. Meanwhile, CM Punk, who we saw on the show tonight, is scheduled to appear on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, where he's expected to further build his feud with McIntyre and continue with the setup for the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. For some reason, the Bad Blood thing stuff. When it, I don't know. Stuff that wasn't. I'm not going to cover this during the actual review because it kind of wouldn't matter at this point. But we got internal ratings. So I'm going to leave those. Actually, I'll talk about them now here. So WWE's internal reactions to the SmackDown premiere ratings on the USA Network have been revealed. Sean Rossap on Twitter reported that WWE's internally very happy with the SmackDown numbers from this Friday. Obviously, the SmackDown numbers from this Friday, if I can find them. Let me see. I can find it here. Oh, here you go. So the SmackDown numbers from this week saw 1,723,000,000 viewers, as the previous week showed 1,770 viewers, which was down from last week. The show last week achieved a 0.55 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic, which is an increase from last week, which was a 0.45. You're going from network television to cable television. So, we'll see what type of ratings the NXT brings when they go to the CW starting in October. We didn't see the Wyatt Sicks on the show tonight. Well, we did, but not in any way to further any storylines with them, as their feud with Chad Gable and the American Maid did finish up last week in that tremendous street fight with the Wyatt Sicks and other stuff here. We saw the return of the QR code here tonight on WAW. That's my WWE 2K thing here, which I am gonna finish that up later this week here. So we saw the return of the QR codes here on Monday Night Raw. The QR codes. I haven't done the QR codes since, I want to say, the last one at Clash at the Castle, which was July 15th. So WWE archive footage. Well, not WWE archive footage here. WWE.com archive covered. We saw a new thing here, which is called the Kintsugi page. I don't know, something about let me see if I can find. I don't know if I can find the we listen, you speak, we follow, or something like that. But the Kintsugi page was updated to say frater. It says the bond of a family is a cat of nine tails, bond through suffering. We see you, brother. When you need us, we will be there. So there's that. Then you click on I'm trying to see if we get any more new stuff here. So if we click on this, we get the image here of that stuff here. We get a puzzle, which took me a bit to solve. I almost had it correct until somebody pointed it out. It actually says, "Do you know why you're afraid when you're alone?" That was one of the puzzles solved by people out there. It's like I'm going through the whole Wyatt Sicks stuff here again. Or the whole campaign again, which is pretty cool. So all that good stuff here. So what's this mean here? So I don't know what this the she thing has always been there. So that's nothing new. The she thing has been there for a while now. I don't think this means anything. But we go, well, that's interesting. Almost that has always been. Hold on a second. Okay. It's a P thing, right? Okay, that's interesting. Anyways, so we did see a new one show up on here from the other night, which was "Even Now," with the words "The red grows stronger, whispers of 1,000 voices," which was one of the things that the Wyatt Sicks Twitter page put up. Screaming in silence, guiding the knife until our hands are one in the same. You speak, we follow. That's the line from the promo tonight. My life for you, talking about Bray Wyatt. So, the URL says Auburn, which is an anagram for Braun. So they may be targeting Braun Strowman next. We'll see. But that was some interesting stuff here. Words of the Rep was the file for the one picture here. I can't make out what this thing says here. Oh, it's coordinates. It says brother. I'm not going to try to look up the coordinates of that, but that was something on the show tonight. So I thought that was pretty good, interesting stuff here. Other than that, nothing else news wise. Actually, I do get some news on AJ Styles. AJ Styles is not hurt. It says AJ Styles is healthy. He just isn't being used on television. He was on the WWE overseas tour in Japan, but wasn't featured on television. He worked 5 straight nights in world title matches against Cody Rhodes. He also worked. So it's a different overseas tour that I'm thinking of. I think it's the European one before Bash in Berlin, and also the tour with Japan tour, world title matches against Nakamura and Cody Rhodes. If it was me, I would just have AJ Styles compete in the N1 over there in Noah. Just let him wrestle Noah for a little bit longer. If you're not going to use him on television, let him wrestle in Noah a little bit longer. You know. It's not like what they're doing right now with Iyo, where Iyo, is on television, is being featured weekly, having matches and winning a lot of matches. But it's a kind of a little different there. So, Motor City Machine Guns, as you guys know, I did mention that on Friday. They did sign with WWE going straight to NXT. They want to go to NXT. They are hopefully setting up a program. They're already teasing that program between Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium for the NXT tag team titles. I would assume either this week or in a couple of weeks they're going to set that up and possibly do that match either at in Chicago or have that be one of the matches that's going to take place in Missouri for the second week on the CW network. So yeah, there's that. All right, let's go through the Monday Night Raw here. We got CM Punk. He started the show. He says, he has a different. He sounds different than normal. He's not coming out here waving, smiling, and saying he's happy to be here. This is more of a gave me some straight edge society vibes here with CM Punk. He says he's at the point in his career where sometimes he is asked how many matches he has left in him. He says he came back to WWE. He said he didn't come back to make friends. He says he didn't mean he wanted to make a. He says that he didn't mean he wanted to make a mortal enemy, but he did in Drew McIntyre, and the only way to end their issues is inside Hell in a Cell. He says he feels naive to think that things with McIntyre were over after the strap match at Bash in Berlin. He admits that he admits to having 0 matches in him, and says his sisters, his wife, and the angel on his shoulder told him not to compete in Hell in a Cell. At least says he's not. She doesn't know what's happening. That she is full of shit. I love you, AJ. I love AJ Lee. I really do. But she's full of shit. Which, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Where was I? So they told him not to do this match. He said he told McIntyre if he's pushed hard enough, he become the devil, and that's what he'll do at Bad Blood. He promises to make McIntyre bleed and says he'll do whatever it takes to beat him. Punk then says he's prepared for this Hell in a Cell match to be the end of CM Punk and the end of Drew McIntyre. So therefore, he'll see you in hell. So, very different CM Punk promo here. I thought this was one of the better CM Punk promos that Punk has got coming back here. They were in Portland, Oregon, which is kind of fun, which is kind of ironic because when Punk and Drew had that first interaction with each other when Punk came back, it was also important in Oregon. Punk also kind of teased a little Piper. He always goes back to Piper in Portland. This wasn't quite Piper in Portland-esque like he did with the MJF stuff. But this hopefully is the main event of Bad Blood. So there's that. We have Pete Dunne and Sheamus. They had a great match here. Pete Dunne gets the win, finally. Pete Dunne gets a win over a 4-time world champion, which is a big fucking get right there. So at one point we go back from break here. Sheamus and Dunne teeter on the top rope. Sheamus looks to send Dunne crashing into the mat, but Pete Dunne escapes and connects with a sit-out powerbomb on Sheamus, goes for the pin. Sheamus kicks out. By the way, Portland was hot tonight. I just want to put that out there. They were great. Pete Dunne then lands a right hand on Sheamus, fires off several more, stomps on his face. Sheamus hits 3 clotheslines on to Pete Dunne, follows that up with a slam. Sheamus ascends to the top rope, delivers a knee to Dunne, then goes for a pin. Pete Dunne kicks out Sheamus, sets up for a Celtic cross. Dunne escapes, rocks with an enziguri, fires off a couple of stomps on him, onto Sheamus, that is, from Pete Dunne. Ascends to the top rope. Sheamus catches Dunne out with an uppercut, joins Dunne up onto the top rope. Pete Dunne bites Sheamus. Sheamus then gets Pete Dunne up on his shoulders. Hits a power slam in the middle of the ring. Goes for a pin. Pete Dunne kicks out. Sheamus connects with a 10 beat to the Bondron onto Dunne. Dunne grabs a shillelagh from underneath the ring. Sheamus rocks him with a knee, takes the shillelagh from and considers to use it, but the referee grabs the shillelagh from Sheamus before disposing it. As he's doing so, Pete Dunne hits Sheamus with a cricket bat. He grabbed from under the ring and follows that up with a big boot for the win, and Pete Dunne gets the much needed win that he does. This was fun. Pete Dunne's great. Sheamus is great. Was not too fond of the lower third guys who I'm assuming they probably hired the people who did that stuff for AEW, saying I doesn't want to be called Butch. So there's that. We see the Tower Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, walking around. Jey Uso runs into them, tells Priest he'll be watching when he faces Dominic later on tonight. As Woods walks in, just was random, asks Priest, Rhea, and Jey to stay in the back when he and Kofi challenge New Day for the tag team titles later tonight in light of their recent issues within the group, and all of them agree. We see Braun Strowman working out. The Miz, gets up, talks about Bronson Reed as Strowman prepares for his match against Bronson. That was random as hell. Then we have the Pure Ass Collective. And I don't mean like physical, that. I'm talking about they fucking suck as a group. And Zoe Stark and Natalya, they had a fine match. Natalya gets the win here, rolls her up. Boy, the Pure Fusion Collective is a fail. Immediate fail already. They can't win a match to save their lives here, but anyways, whatever. I'm not going to spend time with this because this is waste my time here. This is not the women's match I want to talk about because this to me was a mockery of women's wrestling. You guys. Oh, I cannot wait to go off on people on social media tomorrow and on AEW for the shit that they pulled with Yuka Sakazaki. I'll get into that one. But I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about that on podcast tomorrow. Which that podcast will actually go up on this, will be a special edition that will go up on all platforms tomorrow. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a big show tomorrow. We see Finn Balor approaching Rhea Ripley as Rhea's being given an interview. Tells Kathy I think it was Kathy. Balor tells Rhea that he thinks that she's just as bad as Damian and blames her for doing the same thing to him that Priest did that Priest did basically this blaming each other here. He's blaming her for the same thing. Rhea becomes angered and says she did all she did was try to make opportunities for Judgment Day, and the boys kept and keep the boys from fighting. Jey Uso walks in and says, "Everything all right?" And Jay's like, "Well, Rhea's like," and Finn at that point, at one point he said, "I'm the one who told Dom to go out to live. It was me. I was the devil on his shoulder." A little hint. Because I think Finn Balor, from what I've heard, it's going to be Finn Balor, the demon Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at Bad Blood. But we'll see. That actually does end up happening. So we get a good segment here with Jey Uso. He comes out here, says Yeet Town is now in Portland. Then addresses his upcoming match with Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship, which is going to be taking place next week. He says he's excited and has been looking forward to it since he's arrived on Raw, which was a year or two ago. Bron Breakker comes out to the ring. He tells Jey that he told Jey to stay away, but he's still pursuing the Intercontinental title in order to prove he can do it all by himself without his family's help. Says there's no doubt that Jey is one of the biggest stars in WWE. Then says, unlike Jey, he doesn't need his family name to become a big star of his own. This is the Intercontinental Championship is his family because it's what he fights for, and then promises to expose Jey next week for being nothing without his family. Jey says they'll fight next week, but this match will be shorter than. This is a great line, and he didn't have to do Broad like this, but this was a really good line. He said, The match will be shorter than Bron Breakker's career in the NFL. Or it was not the match; it was the title run would be shorter than Bron Breakker's career in the NFL. Oh my God, Jay, you didn't have to go there. That was cold, my guy. Braun lays a right hand on Jay, bounces off the ropes to look for a spear. Jay intercepts with one of his own spears, and then that was a great segment there. I don't think Jey Uso is winning the Intercontinental Championship next week, but because he's going to get hopefully at some point they're going to introduce Jey Uso back into the Bloodline storyline as soon as Jimmy Uso can stop getting lost on his way to the arena. New Day. I challenged JD McDonough and Finn Balor for the World Tag Team titles. The match was nothing special, but here is where everything starts getting good here. So we go back from break. Kingston sends Balor crashing into the mat. McDonough tag and Woods get tagged in. Woods runs over JD with pairs of clotheslines, then runs up the ropes to connect with the back elbow onto McDonough before landing the splash into the corner, firing off some right hands. Woods levels Balor on the apron, lands a Russian leg sweep onto McDonough. McDonough looks to deliver a shout powerbomb to Woods, but Woods avoids it, lands one of his own, goes for the pin. McDonough kicks out. This is where it gets good here. Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito march out of the ring, but the LWO meet them. I forgot the LWO were doing anything with these people here, which is quite funny that the LWO did all this stuff here, but they were nowhere to be seen in the main event segment. Just thought that was funny. So they started going after each other here. JD takes advantage of all this stuff here. Rolls Woods up. Woods kicks out. Kingston flies over the top rope to take everyone out. Woods lands an elbow drop onto McDonough. Goes for the pin. However, the referee is distracted, and Joe Tessitore is going off on the referee. He's like, the referee, where is he at? Why is he too busy worrying about what the hell's going on out the outside? They could have had the belts by now. He said belts. That's another thing I want people to pay attention to. The word belts was mentioned on the show. I don't know if he mentioned it again, but I just thought that was very interesting here. So, Woods gets in the referee's face, pins McDonough. Referee misses the count again. McDonough takes advantage, locks in the sleeper, while after Balor blind tags, hits the coup de grace onto Woods for the win, and after the match, Woods is like, nah. He basically goes off of him. Basically teasing more split with the New Day. So, interested to see where this is going. They had a course correct because, not technically a course correct because they were going in this direction anyways. But then they added Odyssey Jones, who was like there for like 2 weeks, and then all that shit happened with him. So they just went back to the original plan, the original idea, without Odyssey Jones. Very odd, but still there. It was supposed to be Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. They brawled out through the arena. You know, all that good stuff. This is some great stuff here. Apparently, Bronson Reed was fined for throwing a Bronson Reed. Okay, so Braun was good to do the Strowman Express. He's coming around, and this motherfucker Bronson Reed took a fan from ringside and just fucking launched him at fucking Braun Strowman. I lost it. I'm like, okay. It reminded me of the Hulk video game from 2003, where you can grab people and just fucking throw them. That's what that reminded me of. It was fucking hilarious. But They broke the ring too, by the way. The top rope snapped. Well, when somebody was, I think Bronson got charged. Somebody got thrown into the ring post, and the fucking ring top rope snapped. Luckily, they were able to get back on there, but I want them to. I want to be a last man standing match between these two. It has got to happen. I would add that to Bad Blood. I don't know what Seth Rollins is going to be back, because when Rollins comes back, they're going to go into that program with Bronson Reed. So I'm going to enjoy this push with Bronson Reed right now. Actually, I would still have Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins, but that's just me. Sami Zayn still's wanting a championship match here. He calls Ludwig Kaiser comes out. He says he basically calls Ludwig Kaiser, Gunther's bitch, in a way. He says, Gunther doesn't need you. You don't need Gunther. So Gunther comes out and says all this stuff here. Kaiser gets on the microphone and basically, tries to tease a split, which they may actually do that. And he decks Sami Zayn. They start beating each other up, and Sami and Gunther's like, my answer still no. Gunther goes to leave, and a Helluva Kick for Kaiser's troubles, not once but twice, and eventually we're good. And then it sets up for Ludwig Kaiser versus Sami Zayn for Raw next week. And where are they going to be at next week? Let's find out. They're going to be in. Ontario, California. Ontario, California. So they're going to be there next week. Okay. Damien Priest is with Kathy Kelly getting ready to do an interview. Liv Morgan interrupts, tells Priest that she wishes that he could hear what the rest of the Judgment Day says about him and Rhea. Priest tells Morgan to protect her world championship, with Rhea coming after it coming for it at Bad Blood. Says that he will put Dominic down when he gets his hands on him. So there's that. Match of the night: Iyo Sky defeated Bianca Belair. This match was great. Joe Tessitore on this match in particular was on his game. So I'm going to go through the later portions of the match here, because I don't want to be up all night. I got somewhere I got to be tomorrow tomorrow morning. So yeah, Bianca lands a variation of a gutbuster onto Iyo. Iyo responds with a missile dropkick from the top rope, goes for the pin. Belair kicks out, exchanges right hands with Iyo, then sends her crashing into the corner. Sends her crashing. I don't know why it says sends. Lands a spine buster, follows it up with a springboard moonsault, goes for the pin. Iyo kicks out. Bianca gets Iyo above her head after a tope suicida that was on the outside to be at Belair from Iyo. Does the vertical suplex in the ring here, all that stuff here. Bianca goes for this 450 splash. Iyo gets her knees up. Io's getting ready to ascend to the top rope to do the over the moonsault. Bianca looks like she's getting ready to hit the KOD. Iyo escapes, rolls up Bianca for the win, and Iyo finally gets a one-on-one victory in a singles match, a longer match, by the way. And get Iyo Sky. Iyo Sky has now had 3 pinfall victories over Bianca Belair, whether it be by... This is actually more of a clean victory here. For being like, no one got involved here. Technically, at this point, Bianca, Jay Cargill, and we know Damage Control are baby faces, but technically Bianca and Jade are still baby faces. So this is a baby face versus baby face match. This crowd was into this match. I was into this match. Iyo Shirai, once again, having a banger match. She's had a slew of cooked. She's been cooking this year. The match with Bayley at WrestleMania, the New Year's match that she had with Mia Yim was actually really good. The matches she had in the Queen of the Ring tournament with Shayna and Lyra Valkyria. Those are and Natty too. Those were great matches. Match of the night. Also the match over in Marigold with Utami Hayashita. By the way, happy birthday to Utami Hayashita. Also happy birthday to well, it's not her birthday anymore, but was her birthday a few hours ago. That being here in America, at least, that being Suzuki of Neo Genesis. Also, Hanako had her birthday this weekend as well. So happy birthday to Hanako, Utami, and Suzuki. Kairi Sane has a birthday next weekend, and next Monday, and then next weekend is the lovely Hazuki's birthday as well. So shout out to those phenomenal talents as well. We heard a verbal confrontation backstage between Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. For another bit of reason, Ilya Dragunov did not come back out to help anybody. Although he did have not get together, but he had a run in with Jey Uso following the segment with Bron Breakker and all that stuff here. Damian Priest defeated Damian Priest defeated Dominic Mysterio. This match was all over the place here. Dominic, we go from break at some point in this match. Dominic lands a DDT on Priest, goes for the pin. Priest kicks out. Dominic lands a right hand onto Priest. Connects with a overhand chop. Priest gets fired up, levels Dominic with a pair of right hands, then fires back up with all that stuff here. He goes for a little flatliner and the pin. Dominic kicks out. Balor hops on the ring apron, opening the door for Dominic to roll up. Priest kicks out, lands a roundhouse kick onto Dominic's head, then delivers a broken arrow, goes for the pin. Liv Morgan pulls Dominic's foot on the top rope here, or the bottom rope here, to break the hold. Rhea tackles her over the announce desk. She fucking just launched herself over the announce desk with Liv. Priest then drives a right hand into Carlito. Drives a right hand to Carlito off the ring steps. Dominic is waiting with a super kick. Then when he gets back up in the ring, drop kicks Priest into the ropes, getting ready for the hit for the 619, into the top rope for a frog splash. Priest levels him with the South of Heaven for the win. Following the match, like not even 2 seconds of the match, Judgment Day attacks Priest. Rhea hops in the hops in the ring, holds Dominic. Liv pulls her down, sends her crashing into the ring steps. Jey Uso's music hits. He's making his way out. He stops. I was expecting the LWO to come out or Ilya or I was expecting could even do the debuting. Oh my God, what the fuck is their name? The Lucha Brothers there. Something. I was expecting that. Was not expecting Bron Breakker to come out and spear the shit out of him, but he did. Balor kept hitting the coup de grace onto Damian Priest while Liv held onto Rhea to make her watch. So that's how with Judgment Day standing tall. So that's how that show ended. Solid show overall. A good solid 8 show. Portland brought it. Match of the night obviously was Iyo and Bianca. Destruction of the night obviously went to Bronson and Strowman. I loved Joe Tessitore on commentary tonight. He is getting better each week. The line at the end from Jey Uso to Bron Breakker was a little cold, but it was a great line. And also Pete Dunne and Sheamus did a really good job, and CM Punk keeps building up to his match at Bad Blood against I'm gonna say Joe Tessitore against McIntyre. CM Punk's going to be on NXT tomorrow to, I guess, have something to do with something tomorrow. We'll see about that here. Matches announced for next week. We found out, like I said, Ludwig Kaiser is going to take on Sami Zayn. Hopefully we'll find out, because it does look like we're getting Sami Zayn and Gunther at Bad Blood for the World Championship. Another match that was announced here, Bron Breakker and Jey Uso will clash for the Intercontinental Championship. And I believe that's it for matches announced for next week. Drew McIntyre will also be back on the show next week as well. So I will see you guys back here for the Pile Driver Pulse. That's going to be up on all platforms tomorrow, including YouTube, as we talk about all of other things regarding stuff here. We'll talk about NXT, see what CM Punk's announcements are going to be, whether or not he and Julia's going to share a ring tomorrow. We're also going to see what happens with the Motor City Machine Gun. Will they show up tomorrow? Will they not? We'll see. Also, we'll go over Stardom with their last show. Oh my God, what was the show that they just had? Nababa. I think it's Nababa. Nababa, or whatever. It's the Grand Fight Show. I'm going to just call it that. But we do know that we have 3 new matches announced for the Nagawa Golden Fight Show that's happening on October the 5th. So October the 5th is going to be loaded with Bad Blood and Nagawa Golden Fight. Obviously, we got 1 match announced. 3 matches, actually. Tam Nakano is going to defend the World Startup Championship against Suzuki. This was a match that was supposed to take place last year until Tam went down with a knee injury, and the match ended up becoming a 3-way. Actually, no, it happened. Well, it wasn't that happened last year. Tam defended the championship against Natsuko Toro last year. What show was it? What show was it? Gold Rush. It was supposed to happen at Gold Rush. It was supposed to be Tam and Suzu after Suzu won the 5-star, but due to the injury, that ended up being Suzu and Starlight Kid. But Suzu, Starlight Kid, and Osmi ended up winning that match. So that's going to happen there. Tekla is unfortunately going to challenge Natsupoi for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. And Timeless Tony Storm is going to make a return to Stardom. She is going to challenge Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship. No. Mayu Iwatani is not going to AEW, guys. She is not even going to... The fact that this match is happening in Japan and not to AEW should tell you something. Just saying. We'll talk about that whole story tomorrow on the Pile Driver Pulse and some other things as well. I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Until then, wow.